team banned. Radiant team banned. One of the heroes experienced...
Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu, and I bring you guys a Friday Night Live Dota. I finally got the title for it, and this is actually the second game in this best of 3 series of Zebra Kingdom versus Babi Kecil. I think that's how you pronounce that, but I can't really tell, because CulBlu is bad at pronouncing things, or bad at pronouncing things, my bad. Wow, that's actually pretty bad. But we got 2 DCs on both sides.
10 seconds remaining.
Nope, we just had 2 DCs on both
5
sids, and my calculator's doing other things, so I'll go away. Go away, there we go. And I can't see my mouse cursor.
Reserve time.
Okay, I'm trying to hide chat. There we go. So we got 2 DCs on both sides, so we're getting off to a good start. Because guys, if you don't have issues in Dota, then you're not doing it right. True story, true story. Oh my eyes. But yeah, we're just waiting for these guys to go for their bans. Like I said, Zebra Kingdom versus Babi Kecil. Babi Kecil did claim the victory in the last match, so spoiler alert, if you guys are watching Game 2 and you didn't want to know the results of Game 1, I apologize, but it's kind of how it works a little bit. With Zebra Kingdom, they did drop to what will look to be a push-type strategy, and we'll see how they decide to play this game out. Babi Kecil did a great job of making sure the tri-lane of Zebra Kingdom didn't do jack squat, so they did a really good job of that. And it seemed like Zebra Kingdom didn't really adjust when they needed to. I remember in the game that we casted them before, they did a great job of the rotations, but that's really about it. And I think I am lagged out. I think I'm all lagged out. I think my internet's doing weird things. Because the timer's not moving. Yep, my internet has been disconnected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my internet over, and you guys get to witness the awesome of me switching internet over. It's amazing. Because the internet in my house is reliable. Yay. Totally not true. So renew IP. Yep, no IP address. No worries guys, I'll be there very soon. Timer's actually counting down. What's the scene? Nope, not what I want to see. So eventually I'll be back online. Already connected. Disconnect this. And I connected to that. Come on, internet, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go. Alright, so I'm back into this game. I missed a few bans, I missed a few picks. My apologies for the issues up front, but hey, issues are the way of life, so I got to know how to deal with them. And the way I like to deal with them is by telling you guys a funny story. So it was this funny story that I went to a competition last week. No, week before last. No, actually last week. I went to a competition last week, and I had a bunch of fun, and it was awesome, but everybody there was high schooler, and I was college. Now, for all those people who don't call it college, like, our college is, like, post-secondary, and I guess high school would be college for that area, if you're living in that area, but anyway, for the most part, it was like, yeah, cool, fun, a lot of people, awesome people, and a lot of them are pretty, and they're high schoolers. Which, for the US, is a little bit too young for us older people like me. So that was sad. That happened. But enough of that, enough of me stalling about stories, random things from my real life. Let's talk about the Dota life, because I am about that Dota life. Let's go and talk about these bans on both sides. Starting off on Zebra Kingdom, they banned out the Ember Spirit, Centaur Warrunner, Nyx Assassin, and Prophet, which I think are pretty perfectly good picks. Centaur Warrunner didn't really do much for him, so might as well not give him up. I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't ban the Nature's Prophet the first time around, because I think he gave him a lot more headache than the Centaur could have ever given him. But moving outside of Babi Kecil, they banned out the Invoker because he did do some decent controlling when those team fights did break out, and his EMP was annoying as all get out. They banned out the Lycan as well because his push is great push. Storm Spirit, the initiation is pretty darn powerful with this one, and Lifestealer, I don't know, I can't think of anything clever to say with him. He'll steal your life away? Okay. Okay. Moving on to the picks on the side of Babi Kecil,
10
because they
seconds
are
remaining.
3 picked up so far. Ancient Apparition, Clockwork, and Visage, or
5
Visage, or
seconds remaining.
Visage. Visage, or Visage. Those are some nice solid pickups.
Reserve
Clockwork
time.
with the initiation is going to be a big issue for Zebra Kingdom to deal with. Of course, any hero that Babi Kecil picks up is going to be something that Zebra Kingdom are going to have to deal with as built into the game.
Radiant
But
team pick.
for the most part, I think Clockwork is going to be very, very annoying for them, especially considering they picked up a Darkseer after they saw the Visage and Clockwork pick up. I think it's a little interesting. I think it's a little interesting because Clockwork, he can still chase you pretty effectively if he has his Rapple up, which I'm assuming Clockwork will build an Aghanim Scepter. I'm assuming Ancient Apparitions has aspirations to build an Aghanim Scepter, and I'm also assuming that Visage is having aspirations to
10
build an
seconds
Ags.
remaining.
It's kind of cool because everybody on this map so far, with the exception of Batrider, can build an Ags, and Morphling too, can build an Ags and do awesome things. But yeah, with the Morphling, Clockwork, Visage, Ancient Apparition, it's going to be something pretty interesting for Zebra Kingdom to face up against. It's not necessarily a push. We actually see Babi Kecil going for what looks to be a 4 protect 1 type strat, where they have Ancient Apparition, Clockwork, Visage protect this Morphling while he gets his farm. And it's pretty darn interesting to see this kind of lineup, because Morphling as a hero, he does one thing really effectively besides
10
carry,
seconds remaining.
and that is split push. Morphling can split push the crap out of you if you're not
5
careful.
seconds
If he gets his attack,
remaining.
or once he gets his attack speed up, once he gets his big items like Butterfly and whatnot, it's going to be very, very, very annoying for these guys to deal with. But I like the fact that Zebra can respond in kind with an anti-mage. He has some split push potential of his own, while his team is doing 4 protect 1 for him. He can just go into another lane and just push it down. It's just all by himself. So we'll likely see Morphling and Anti-Mage clash a little bit
seconds
solo to see who wins that fight. Once we do get to the higher parts into the game, Anti-Mage should in fact win that fight. Morphling can carry really hard, but I think Anti-Mage can still carry harder, because once it becomes 3 AM, it's pretty much over for those guys. And we saw Zebra Kingdom do a very impressive first game that we saw. Not the very first one, but the one that they played to get into those finals, because this is the final series, by the way.
Team pick.
But we saw Zebra Kingdom do a very, very, very nice job of playing the Anti-Mage. And also they did a phenomenal job playing their 4 protect 1 type strat. So, Babi Kecil, they picked up the Tinker, which is going to be nice for pushing all over the map. And once Tinker gets himself a Sheepstick, it's going to be perma hexes all day long for Anti-Mage. So Tinker has the potential to control Anti-Mage, but he also has to be very careful because there's a lot of people who can deal with Tinker really well. The main one to me, a lot of people say the main one is Batrider, but the main one to me is Windrunner. Like, she can shackle
5
Tinker to a tree,
seconds
he can't do
remaining.
jack squat for like 20 hours. So it's going to be really nice to see if Zebra Kingdom can hit the right shackles at the right
Reserve
time. But we'll see what Zebra Kingdom decide to go for the last pick. The bans, on the other hand, they were a Viper and a Doombringer. And I can't really say too much about that, except for Doombringer versus Morphling is annoying. Because Morphling can't morph to strength when he's doomed. And on the other hand, Viper did do some really nice work last game around. He proved that Viper can be a tank, which CulBlu doesn't like the word tank in Dota, because I still feel that there's no such thing as a tank in Dota. But Viper can take up a lot of damage. I mean, you can do all you want to him. He ain't gonna feel jack squat of it. Or, okay, he'll feel it, but he won't feel much of it. He's like drunk or something. Okay, cool. Alright, so the last pick on Zebra Kingdom side was a Bane, which would be really nice versus Morphling and Tinker respectively. And by respectively, I mean both of them at the same time. Bane can throw out the Nightmare on top of... He can throw out the Nightmare on top of Tinker and throw out the Fiend's Grip on top of Morphling. And it's actually really only 3... Okay, they have things to deal with the Bane Nightmare. But it's not really anything you want to use on a Bane. Like, Morphling has his Adaptive Strike, which is probably the best thing to use on the Bane to stop him from channeling that Nightmare, or Fiend's Grip. Visage has the Birds, which is nice, and Clockwork has 2 things, the Power Cogs and the Rapple, so that's cool. And Chilling Touch, I mean, by the time Chilling Touch actually procs, it's not going to matter. It's really not going to matter. Alright, there we go, my mouse cursor shows up. Got it, guys, it's all good. CulBlu has his cursor. So we got this game going on the road, so let me do introduction, start off on the side of the Radiant first, and I won't do the fancy thing, because I might miss a First Blood if I do that. We see Valarath on that Visage. Moving over to this Clockwork, who's playing in the offlane, we see 22, because 33 was too much. On that Clockwork, hey, that's actually my age. There you go, guys. Fun fact: CulBlu's 22 years old. Moving over to the side of, moving to his Morphling, we see Zith on that Morphling. On this ancient empress, we see Shun, or I'm still calling him Schwan. I know it's supposed to be A in Schwan, but I'm still calling him Schwan. Fine, I'll call him Shun. We see Shun on that ancient person, because that is kind of disrespectful. Moving to his Tinker, who's playing mid. We see Sapphire on him. And that ends up the callouts for Bastille. And on the side of Zebra Kingdom, or ZK, we see Zinsifi. Yeah, Zinsifi on that Windrunner. Or Wind Ranger, my bad. Sorry guys, I forgot to change your name. Moving to this Darkseer, who looks like he's playing in the jungle. We see Shaki on that Disruptor, or on that Darkseer. On this freaking Anti-Mage, we see La 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 555 666 on him. And on this Barrier, who's actually playing the offlane, we see Puff Puff. And last but not least, on this Bane, who's playing support, or playing that point for that Anti-Mage, we see Blank _ on that Bane. So yes, we're expecting to see some standard type Dota, 4 protect 1 on both sides. So guys, this is technically Southeast Asian Dota, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's just it's SEA, so Southeast Asian Dota, which means that we can see some pretty long drawn out games. So we'll see if this one becomes one of those where both sides have the carry farm up all day long, and then they just go for one clash, and then it ends the game. So I'm not saying you guys get prepared to be bored, because we see a tri-lane on one side, so I'm expecting to see some pretty darn good excitement coming out down here. Between Visage and H-Apparition, they should be able to do enough to kill Barrow. They're not going to be enough, not close enough. Grave Shield a little bit too far away. Meanwhile, on top, we got Clockwork versus the Bane and Anti-Mage combo, and Clockwork might be in a little bit of trouble if he gets hit with a Nightmare at the wrong time. He doesn't want to have bad dreams, and Anti-Mage does have the blink, defensive blink, just to make sure he can stay alive. H-Apparition shooting Barrow away. Wow, taking massive amounts of damage. A does have 49, or did have 49 damage, so he's hitting for about 100. So Barrow is taking a nice little chunk of his HP as damage. Meanwhile, mid, we see Tinker versus Windrunner, and I haven't seen a mid Windrunner for freaking ever, guys. Amazing stuff, but basically you can farm a lot with your power shot, you can push if you need to with your power shot, and you can just, you have a really good attack range. Tinker's attack range in comparison is 500, where Windrunner has attack range of 600, which is phenomenally good. 200 more range means that she'll be that much further away from actually getting hit with abilities. And I think Tinker's was laser. What's laser's range? Doesn't say laser's range. Oh, makes you sad. Come on, it should tell me laser's range. Okay, this is bothering me now. Don't know, can't tell. Alright. So I learned something new about Tinker's laser. Anyway, moving on top, Anti-Mage has his mana burn, plus he has himself 1 point inside the blink. He can be aggressive on Clockwork if he wants to, but he needs to be careful because Battery Assault, I don't think he'll be able to blink away from it. I don't know if it hits frequently enough to stop Anti-Mage from blinking, because Anti-Mage does have that timing. Or does have his little slight delay before he blinks away. He has to look in the direction, then he has to stare at it. He has to think about blinking, and then he actually blinks. In order to make a sculpture, you must first know the marble. Then you must lick the marble. Then you must date the marble. You must become the... Okay, sorry. SpongeBob references. If you guys didn't catch that reference, I am sad for your childhood, because mine was awesome. No offense. So we got some group jungling going on over here. We got Darkseer plus Barrow, who was forced out of his lane, which is, I think, is nice. Barrow can do some stacking. We got Dark... Oh, wow. Nice stack. Nice timing on top of that, too. But Darkseer can do some co-op farming with Barrow, and Barrow can stack some camps and get some farm that way. So they're both going to be forced into the jungle, which is like a double jungling strat. It's kind of strange. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see Darkseer rotate down bottom, because his Iron Shell should be able to do some nice work versus all these creeps. The only thing I have to be concerned about, though, is how fast these guys can kill it, because they do have 3 sources of right click, and they also have their Chilling Touch if they really need it in a pinch for the Bastille side. Meanwhile, we see we can see Clockwork getting surrounded. He gets hit with a Nightmare. Everybody shows up. Darkseer's around the corner. The Iron Shell, or sorry, the Power Cogs will be flying through for Clockwork here very soon. It's actually going for a lot of damage. The first blood will happen. The Surge does come through on top of Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage trying to keep himself alive. 22 will be catch himself inside the Power Cogs. Anti-Mage does get the first blood.
First blood.
So nice play. Anti-Mage getting that coveted first blood. He will be that much closer to his stuff now. That much closer to his stuff. And by stuff, I mean to that Battle Fury. Which we've seen La 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 go all kinds of aggro once he had it, so I'm expecting to see some awesome things once that Battle Fury comes up. My question is, will he decide to go for a heart instead of a butterfly this time? Because I think in this matchup, he needs to have himself a butterfly, especially versus Morphling. Heart won't really help him out that much. There's no Bloodseeker factor,
Radiant's top tower is getting walloped.
so it's not that big of a deal.
Dire's
Anyway,
bottom
Tinker has himself
tower is
what looks to
under
be a 3-point stop marching machine and a region room bottled up. So he's going to be going for that push around the map type thing, going for that easy nuke as opposed to going for the missiles, which I like missiles better, but laser's cooler. Laser's cooler, missiles are better. They do 325 damage per missile, whereas laser does 325 damage for a laser. But also causes a mischance, which would be nice versus someone like an Anti-Mage, who has that mana burn, which can make Tinker's life pretty darn bad. Laser on top of Anti-Mage, and Anti-Mage can't hit you for 4 seconds? Or is it 2 seconds? 3 seconds. Okay, somewhere in the middle of that.
Dire's bottom tower lies in ruins.
Alright, Tinker's also doing some ancient stacking. So he's doing Sapphire doing a great job once again of playing that mid role, using that marching machines to farm ancients, stack ancients, push his lane when it needs to be pushed, and also collect that rune. And now he's all healthy again. Regen rune OP, please nerf. Pinks 2 coming down the bottom. Oh man, we're looking for a shackle. Not gonna be able to find it. That's 2 points without shackle. That'd have been 2.25 seconds for Tinker to actually stay still and die. She might have been able to actually get the kill on top of that too. Just a few right clicks plus a power shot, and I think Tinker would have been as good as dead. Meanwhile, top La 555666 on that Anti-Mage has himself a Ring of Health, working on what looks to be a Claymore. So we'll see if he goes for that path. He's gonna say, hey bro, go. Oh, Bane. Bane's like, man, why you messing up my stack? At least Anti-Mage is getting farm. At least Anti-Mage is getting farm. Meanwhile, Windrunner's rotating down bottom, picking himself up a double damage rune, and I think they will be able to scout it. I see the Windrunner's there, besides not gonna be able to do anything about that. So Zephy does have that bottled up. And both sides, like I said, it's going to be a pretty passive game on both sides, because you have a Morphling who wants to get farmed, you have an Anti-Mage who wants to get farmed. So the things you talk about when things get nice and dragged out like this is, what is everybody going to do? I'm expecting to see Clockwork go for a Aghanim Scepter, because it's going to be really nice for initiations. And I'm also expecting to see Morphling, I'm expecting to see him go for a Lincoln Sphere, and I think, did Zith play the Weaver last time? I don't know if Zith played the Weaver last time. Or Exith. I like Zith better, sounds cooler. But if he does go for a Lincoln Sphere this time, it's going to be pretty much the same story as we saw last time around. The only difference is the fact that Morphling can do a little bit more to me, or sorry, not to me, a little bit more as far as escaping than a Weaver can. A Weaver, he can pop Sakuchi and continue to run. He has haste, which is nice when he's Sakuchi'd up. But Morphling, he can just literally just go away. The only thing he has to worry about is getting chain stunned to death, which can most definitely happen. Windrunner power or Shackle Shot into a Bane. Actually, no, Bane has all the stuns that he needs. He has a Fiend's Grip, which opens up Morphling to a lot of bad things.
Has reinforced their structures.
So the pings do come on the map. They do want to go for the Barrier. Ancient person going to go ahead and throw out a nice little vision.
Radiant's middle
Nice little
tower
slow.
may need a hand.
Amplify magic damage by a whole entire 22%. Oh wait, no, my bad. 20%. Pings do come on the map. They want to get for Clockwork, and Bane, does he have a Nightmare? No, he doesn't have a Nightmare, but he wants to go for the kill on top of Clock anyway. Clockwork, no Rapple just yet. The rotations are coming up top. Windrunner, no, she's not going to go for it. Just picks up a rune. And Bane just look for the angle, but not going to be able to find it because the trees are dead, so his cover is officially blown. Clockwork, 22, doing a great job of just collecting XP. And this is one of the mistakes I see a lot of times when people play offlaner. They decide to say, hey, I want a last hit here, I want a last hit there, as opposed to saying, okay, all I need is to get myself some XP for my stuff. And that's all Clockwork really needs is XP. He does need gold for Aghanim Scepter, yes, but he doesn't necessarily need it all the time. Speaking of needed things, Tinker has his boots to travel up. Gonna go ahead and TP to a tower. Push things back. Windrunner doing a nice little focus, doing some nice little focus fire damage to this tower. And now she's going to be doing some nice little running away from this tower. Meanwhile, up top we see Bane plus Clockwork sitting together. Clockwork is going to be able to make this Bane life a living heck. Bane does get the brain sap off, but he will not be able to survive. Too much damage coming out from these guys. Besides, has himself a Medallion of Courage already, which means that Basil can go for Roshan when they want to. Medallion Courage is usually a sign of we want to go for early Roche, or we just want to kill you guys that much faster. And judging by all the physical damage that they actually have on their side, oh, I think Battery Assault's at magical. Yeah, it's magical. Yeah, it's magical damage. But judging by all the other physical damage that they have, which is not that much, this is for Roshan. I mean, Morphling has his right click, but it's not there yet. And I think Visage has some decent right click, but it's not there yet either.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
When middle tower, Zintifi say, hey bro, you're farming ancients, I'm gonna take your tower. And Tinker saying, okay bro, that's cool.
Had an unhappy ending.
But I can see, I was about to say, I see no slow ring on Tinker yet. Which I was about to say, makes me a little bit concerned, but slow ring is available. It's gonna go ahead and TP to the mid tower, push out with a nice little March Machine. Okay, if he'll time the right, he would have got that March Machine on. And continue to farm ancients, because that's where Tinker's gold is coming from. That's his bread and butter slash guts and blood. That's where all his gold comes from. I don't know if Winona should know about this. She does in fact know about this. She sees the March Machine coming down the hill, and she also felt the missile. So I know that the ancient stacking has been going on. The Dire do place a nice little observer to block the camp from spawning anymore. But I think it's a little too late. Tinker has what he needs from it. At worst, Tinker's going to TP back over there and try to stack again. But it's already too late for the stack. 10:24 is what we saw on the time. There's only 2 creeps here. So Tinker can just transition into pushing waves. He did not go for the rocket laser build. He did in fact go for the max marching machine, and now he's putting points on rocket and laser. Which means, I mean, it's okay. Rocket Laser Tinker is basically, I'm going to gank you across the map. I'm going to gank everything you have. But TP does come top for Tinker. Tinker will be going here to try to defend against this. Anti-Mage does get the Rappel missed. And if Tinker was able to hit, or Clockwork was able to hit that, I think that would have been the cue for these guys to fight. But they did in fact miss that. And Clockwork, feeling a little sad. Tinker, feeling a little depressed. Going to go ahead and TP back to base.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Fearsome Dire have fortified.
So what I really want to know is, will Sapphire decide to go straight for a Sheepstick? Because I think a Sheepstick will be necessary versus Anti-Mage. Not necessarily like required, but it'll be necessary versus Anti-Mage in the sense that the sooner he gets a Sheepstick, the sooner Tinker gets a Sheepstick, the sooner they can actually control Anti-Mage in these fights. And Anti-Mage, how close is he to a Battle Fury? Not as close as I'd like them to be, but
Dire's middle tower
he's one piece away from a Battle Fury once he buys up his next piece for his Perseverance. He'll likely go for... okay, I was about to say he'll likely go for that Broadsword next. Which Battle Fury has 4 pieces, by the way. Which is a... 2 pieces in the Perseverance, which is a Ring of Health and a Void Stone. And then the other 2 pieces are the Broadsword plus the Claymore. Anyway, what I was going to say is that he'll likely go for the Broadsword for more damage, but it's not really going to help him out much when he doesn't have it with him. But it is the more expensive thing. And usually what you want to do when you're buying items like that, you want to get the more expensive thing first. And when Tinker taking a nice little chunk of damage, Winona forced to run away. Does have a haste rune available, so Zintifi will be fine. And actually finds a regen rune of all things. So she's actually living pretty nice. Moving fast, living the fast life. And they're going to try to go for Tinker. They need something. They're not going to be able to stop him. The caster does fly, but it's not fast enough. Zintifi couldn't really find the vision to throw a Shackle in time. And Shackle's range anyway is not really as far as you want it to be. It's usually, you know, that can be said about everybody's ranges. The range is usually not as far as you need to be. Like Clockwork's Flare, it's like if it was just a little bit over to the left, he might have gotten some damage to top of Zintifi, but it wasn't enough. And Morphling's down bottom. He does not have a replicate up. He actually has no points on his ulti. Does eat a nice little chunk of damage, 270 damage to his backside. He's going to continue to run away down bottom. Working on what looks to be a Lincoln Sphere, which is going to be cool for him. And up top, we got Anti-Mage plus Darkseer just doing what they can to farm up things. Darkseer finds the birds, doesn't want to get caught out. Anti-Mage might need to be careful. They do ping and say, bro, they know, or bro, let's go get him. Darkseer just ran away. I think this might be the time for Anti-Mage to just run away. Just go away, man. Because Clockwork Grapple is available. If he can rappel onto Anti-Mage, I think that just might be a dead him. Tinker does have a Blink Dagger, so this is a nice item for him to go for. The March Machine is going to fly through, do a little bit of damage to push everything, to push these guys back away from the tower. And Smoke of the Seed actually gets used around the corner. They're going to try to go for something. TP does come forward from Tinker. He is going to TP on the birds, and Barrett comes forward, finds himself a wild Clockwork, getting hit with the battery assault, getting hit with a nice little chunk of damage, gets stunned up as well. The bird's doing too much work. Clockwork Grapple does fly through, misses completely. Meanwhile, Darkseer has a surge available. 4 seconds, not soon enough, and he does in fact go down. And Bastiel, they will be able to claim themselves yet another kill. Will they be able to get a Zensify or a Blink? And the answer is probably not. Tinker, TP in on the birds. I think Zensify saw that. Blink 4 comes from Tinker. Tinker does a little bit of damage to Windrunner, not enough to kill her, but just enough to scare her. And I think he needs to get himself a sheep stick. But it doesn't really matter because Anti-Mage, at the very least, Anti-Mage is still farming. And he almost has himself what looks to be a battle fairy.
Dire's top tower.
So let's take a look at the rest of the items before we take a look at the gold graph. We can see that the items on the side of Bastiel are looking pretty darn nice. Clockwork, I'm assuming, is working on a Blade Mail, which would be nice versus an Anti-Mage to a certain extent. And we got Morphling almost has his Link Sphere up. Just about a few pieces away from that. Oh, Anti-Mage. Take a nice little chunk of damage. Not enough to kill him, but just enough to scare him. That's what it's all about, man. Ooh, it says something. Zebra smell funny. Batrider forced to run away. Does have his Blink Dagger intact. So he was able to blink on out. And I think Clockwork not having Ags, or not necessarily building for Ags, instead building for that Blade Mail. I think it might be a... it's not necessarily a bad thing, but that means he's not going to be able to have the Rapple whenever he needs it. Which I think is not as good as you wanted, because Anti-Mage's Blink is on 5-second cooldown. If you get Clockwork with a Rapple, his Rapple will be on a 12-second cooldown, which means that he should be able to get Anti-Mage every 3 blinks or something like that. If he knows where he's at. So anyway, they do know that the Ancients are warded, so they can't farm there, so they're feeling pretty sad. No stacking for you.
Dire's middle tower.
Meanwhile, Anti-Mage finishes up his Battle Fairy. Windrunner going for some double damage action on top of this tower. Going to be eating himself a nice little Frost Blast, and she'll run away. Blink 4 from Sapphire. He doesn't have a sheep stick. Tries to use the missiles, but not going to be able to find anything. And it looks like Tinker. Is Tinker going to force that for Dagon? Hard to tell, but I think Tinker might be building a Dagon, which is going to be nice for nuking people down. He does already have 2 of the 6 pieces for that. The birds giving Tinker a nice little express trip to wherever he needs to be. So some nice synergy between those two, Visage and Tinker. And Dude Ping saying, hey bro, the birds are here, they're going to try to kill the birds. And the bird's actually stunned. Visage does have his ulti up, so he can resummon them if he needs to. Looks like he's not going to do that. Instead, they back away. So it's kind of like an awkward moment because ZK are kind of constrained to a certain part of the map, but Anti-Mage has just enough room to farm wherever he needs to farm. He can farm. He can raid that whole entire jungle. They have vision all over the place for the Radiant as far as where Anti-Mage might be as far as farming, but I don't think they can really do much about it. I mean, Clockwork's Rapple on the other hand, it does have a range of like phenomenal. That's like literally the range of it. Let's check it out. The range of Rapple is, like I said, phenomenal. It's pretty darn far. So if he sees Anti-Mage in the jungle anywhere near him, he should be able to Rapple to him. It looks like he might be able to go for Grapple on top of him now. But Tinker is nowhere to be found. And actually, speaking of Tinker, we got people mid on both sides. Ancient Version plus Tinker. Trying to do what they can to keep this lane pushed. I think Tinker has 1 more Marked Machines left, but he's actually going to go ahead and TP out. Very smartly so. Get himself nicely healed up, and the birds from Visage are hiding in the trees. They will be going down. Barrow does have the vision necessary. Getting hit with the stun.
Dire's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
And the birds do get resummoned. They do get resummoned instead of going through all the trouble and trying to keep him alive. Meanwhile, TP comes up top from Tinker. Tinker's going to go for the fight versus Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage can't mana burn as effectively as he wants to. But the fact that Tinker got hit like 2 times and he lost that much mana that fast. Okay, he only got hit 2 times. But still, the fact that he only got hit 2 times kind of makes it a little bit concerning for me. Versus of the Anti-Mage versus Tinker type fight. Because Tinker, he can't win the fight until he gets Sheep Stick. I mean, it's just going to be as simple as that. Anyway, Windrunner does go down mid. Mid tower going to be getting pushed down. It will be dying here.
Middle tower is under attack.
And while all this is happening, Batrider just got, bro, I'm going to farm your jungle. Getting the goal that he definitely needs for that, Force Staff.
Is under fire. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Then go ahead and venture on home. Meanwhile, we got Darkseer surged away. Gonna be able to survive because of that. But did take a nice chunk of damage. Needs to be very careful about it though. And here's a little fun fact for you guys. Here's a little fun fact. Universal damage. That means damage that goes through everything. It is actually reduced if I'm not mistaken, which Martial Machine is universal damage. It says magical, but it's universal damage. But it's actually reduced by magic resistance, and it's also reduced by armor at the same time. I don't really understand how that works, to be honest. It's still pretty darn weird to me, but it works something along the lines of your magic resistance doesn't stop it, and magic immunity doesn't stop it, but magic resistance reduce it. It's like really weird. Like I need to go do some reading on it. So that was the last thing I understood when I read it about universal damage. But I'm probably wrong, because, you know, CulBlu thought it. HMH farming some ancients because his crew was like, bro, we got your back. Doing some nice job of that. Or, sorry, support's doing a nice job of stacking. They are actually inside the jungle doing a nice little smoke. Never mind, no smoke. Who needs smoke when you can just walk in? They're going to go ahead and come into the jungle of the enemy, trying to find an ancient person. Not going to be able to find him. He's a little bit too far away. Meanwhile, the top tower is getting pushed, so they're going to trade towers by the looks of it. Tinker already TPing up top. Doesn't really be involved in this fight. He did in fact go for a Dagon. Blink forward from Barrett. He catches himself a wild ancient person who should be going down. Nice little brain stab. He can't drop his ulti, but no, he can't drop his ulti because he's stunned to a tree. He will go down here very soon. Does die. Pops himself an urn charge for his troubles, but not going to be able to get it. Or not going to be able to do much. And the top tower does in fact go down. Oh no, sorry. Bottom tower does go down for the Radiant. Meanwhile, the Dire do pick up this top tower. There's so many illusions everywhere. Just illusions upon illusions.
Tower is under attack.
Dagon level 2 is up on Windrunner. No, Windrunner, sorry. Dagon level 2 is up on Tinker. And the rest of the items on the map, Lincoln Sphere is up on Morphling, so he's pretty darn survivable as far as I'm concerned. Pipe of Insight coming up on top of Darkseer, which would be nice for him to have. Ancient Mage has that Vladimir offering Battle Fear, like I called out before. I still think he should go for Yasha instead, but the lifesteal is going to be nice for him surviving these fights, I guess. Okay, it's cool. I still would like to see a Mantis style though. Or Yasha. I still would like to see Yasha finish before Vlad's, because Vlad's and Yasha, I think their prices are essentially the same. Morphling taking a little bit of damage from Antimates. They're going to go for the fight. Morphling might win this man fight. It looks like Tinker did not show up in time. The Dagon was used on top of a creep. So sad day is sad. And Antimates only how many points? Only 1 point out of Spell Shield, so Dagon is still pretty darn effective. But albeit, Spell Shield gives Antimates 26% magic resistance, guys. That is a lot of magic resistance. To put that into perspective, Hooded Defiance gives you 30% magic resistance. Which is pretty darn ridiculous. I'm here. So the push did come on mid from the Radiant. Basio forcing these guys on back. Meanwhile, on the Dire side, we see Windrunner find himself an ancient person. Will she go for it? It's a big question. And she probably realized that that's an illusion by now. Or maybe she didn't. It's kind of sad to see that they didn't go for it. I would have totally went for that. That's totally why I'm not playing this game right now. It's totally why I'm a caster, not a player, guys. And the Clockwork Grapple is available. The Birds for Visage are pushing up top lane. They are newly revived, so they were doing a nice little chunk of damage for the first 8 attacks. Meanwhile, down bottom, Windrunner plus Bane plus Barrier are looking like they want to get Morphling. He's looking like a juicy little morsel. Shackle Shot needs to fly for Windrunner. It will pop that Link Sphere. Barrier does out the... Oh, man. So many ults getting used just to kill a Morphling. I think he still might be able to survive. Mortal Strength was already used, and he does officially go down. Brain Staff able to knock him off the map. And HR Pressure ulti flying just for good measure. Meanwhile, in the jungle, the mighty jungle, we see somebody blinking out. I think that was an Anti-Mage. Yeah, it was Anti-Mage. Oh man, Windrunner Shackle Shot does fly through. If it would have caught Visage, it might have caught both of them, but it did not catch either one of them. And they do back away. And they go defend their tower instead. So the action is slowly but surely starting to happen on both sides. The carries are not fully farmed just yet, and the kill counters only sitting at 7 relative to some of the other games we had. That's pretty darn low. But a kill counter of 7 is pretty darn impressive relative to what kind of farm we've been seeing on both sides. And we've had a few close calls. But the goal graph shows that it's 3,000 in favor of Basio, so they're doing an excellent job of defending and also make sure that they don't lose too many towers. But that can't, oh man, we got Windrunner taking a little bit of damage. She will be going down here very soon. Bane throws out the Nightmare. I don't know why he threw out the Nightmare, but the Nightmare did fly through. Tinker comes forward, says, bro, thank you, Bane, for the Nightmare. I think that Nightmare was a little bit premature. Actually, no, not even premature. It wasn't necessary at all. Kind of one of the drawbacks of playing the Bane. Sometimes you use Nightmare at the wrong time. He was expecting more right clicks on top of Windrunner. And for a second, I thought he was on the Radiant side. But don't worry, guys. La 555666 almost has himself a Mantis style. And I think the next item he needs to have outside of Mantis style is a BKB, because versus Tinker, Tinker does a bunch of magic damage, and Antimates kind of doesn't care about magic damage to a certain extent, but he still needs to be cautious of it, because that magic damage does add up, despite all the resistance that he has, which is all of what I think it should be like 40 something. Okay, 50% magic damage resistance coming out from just his base magic resistance and also from spell shield. It's not really much for him to worry about. That means that Dagon hits for half of what it states. And Batwood forced to force that forward. Tinker doing a nice little bit of work. Clockwork Flare flies as well. Batwood taking a bunch of damage. Ancient versus ulti flying through the middle. Not gonna be able to find the Batwood. They do see the thing ping in there, and it misses everything. Meanwhile, down bottom, Antimate is doing a split push thing, like I said before. Missiles get disjointed. Not gonna be able to find a hit on top of anything. And Morphle makes himself an illusion of ancient version, which I think is kind of funny. Lake Sphere getting popped already. And Morphle, he's going to be going for that butterfly, which is a nice item for him to go for. It's actually an interesting dynamic, a nice thing to talk about for everybody who's considering, if you're playing Morphling and you're considering going a heart over butterfly, you are doing it wrong, guys. You're doing it wrong. I'll explain why in a little bit. But for now, we're about to see a team fight happen. We got Barrow to blink it forward, catches himself a wild Visage. He's going to be doing a nice little chunk of damage. Ancient Prince ulti going to fly through as well. Darkseer wall does come through. No vacuum to follow up on the backside of this, so I'm actually a little bit sad about that. And they do lose the fight completely on ZK's side. Meanwhile, Visage is still alive somehow. Antimate is nowhere to be found. Actually finds a Visage. Not going to be able to find the kill. Yes, gets the last right click. Dead Visage is dead. And Antimate can blink out whenever he needs to. But that was almost a beautiful fight in the favor of Bastille. The only gleaming thing about the whole entire thing was the fact that they lost Visage at the end of the day. But there was a lot of abilities used to kill Visage, which is actually a pretty questionable thing, because he does have that Gravekeeper's Cloak, which means like the first 4 things that hit him, or first 5 things that hit him. Not 4, yeah. The first 4 things that hit him, he won't feel much of it. His magic resistance is sitting at, what, 67%? With nothing? With really nothing? I mean, actually now I think about that, it's kind of impressive. Because his base magic resistance has been reduced from 25, which is what everybody's base is, except for him and Meepos. But it's been reduced from 25 to 12, I think, 12% magic resistance. So the fact that he's in a 67% magic resistance right now with no items that do anything for magic resistance is actually pretty darn good. E-Blade is up on Morphling. He is going to go for a shotgun type build. Likely transition from shotgun into, oh man, I think that's all the Bane. Yeah, the pings do come inside the jungle. They see the winner, and the winner did get caught by it. They're going to try to go for the kill on top of that. TP does come forward from Tinker on top of those birds. Oh man, the rappel from Morphling does fly through. Barrow does die as well. They did catch everything that they needed to catch and more, because Bane might be dying here just might be dying next. ZK kind of falling apart at the seams by the looks of it. And nice little dodge coming off from Bane. And Morphling says, nope, you will not survive, bro. Blade Mail getting used by Clockwork preemptively. Just trying to do a little bit of damage to Darkseer. Darkseer not taking too much damage. And they're going to go for Roche. Easy Roche is easy is what they will say. Besides using that Medallion of Courage, and also he has an Aghanim Scepter, so the 3 birds are there. And eventually Rashawn will die. There you go. Aegis does go to Morphling, of course. Who else would it go to? And they're all going to run away. I wouldn't be surprised if Morphling shifts more stuff to agility, because he'll die a little bit faster, but he has 1024 HP right now, which should be more than enough. And it should give him enough time to actually go for some switching while he's in trouble. But he'll be level 16 soon, which means he'll have level 3 of his ulti, which means he has level 3 of his ulti, which means that he'll have a wider cast range. That's a lower duration. Or a longer duration. Just, I guess, cool. TPs do come up on top of this wild Bane or Darkseer. Darkseer does go down. Rappel does fly from Clockwork. A lot of damage coming towards Darkseer, and Ancient Prince ulti to fly just to boot. Just to try to stop people from coming through. The reinforcements are here. Barrow getting hit with that ulti at the start of it. He's going to be forced to sit away for a little bit. And Tinker can TP in whenever he needs to. The Shackle does fly for Windrunner, and I'm pretty sure Bastille will have this game pretty much in the bag, but they need to be very careful because the split push can still come from the Anti-Mage. Lala is going to go ahead and kill these Ancients. He does get scattered out by the Radiant.
Radiant's middle tower is
He's actually
not
going to blink
safe.
towards top lane and do the split push thing. And guys, this is where the beauty of an Anti-Mage and Morphling kind of reign in. Anti-Mage is a split, or can be a split pusher. He's not necessarily a great split pusher, but once he gets a Battle Fury, he attacks fast enough to where he can kill the creep wave, and he can also do enough damage once he has his items up to actually kill the tower pretty darn well by himself. So AA ult to the fly. We'll catch a few people. Ancient Apparition not going to be able to claim any kills this day because the mechanism was used ahead of time. Morphling going for the shotgun on top of Windrunner. Not going to be able to find any more things. Trying to get the waveform. Not going to be enough. Link Sphere does get used on top of Morphling. He does TP out or blink out. Not blink out, TP out. And now Barrett is going to go farm up the rest of his stuff. I'm assuming he wants a BKB now. I think he had a BKB last time around. Anti-Mage is doing a nice little chunk of damage. Tinker going to go ahead and come forward. Go for the kill. That's when the missile getting dodged. No sheep stick up on Tinker, which is actually making it a little bit sad. The missile does come through. Dagon does fly on top of the wrong Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is going to get this last on top of his tower anyway. Doesn't really care about Tinker's damage. Given zero explicit words about anything that Tinker can do. Meanwhile, the rest of his crew is defending as hard as they possibly can. Ooh, a regen room. How convenient.
Healing power.
So the Radiant Courier flew all the way out there just to get something. It will be getting scouted out by this room or by this ward. But yeah, nobody's nearly close enough to actually deal with that or kill that. You know, Rapper 4 from Clockwork catches Windrunner in the perfect spot. So he's feeling pretty darn swanky about that one. They're going to be able to get this tower. They're going to hurt from Tinker somewhere. Anti-Mage blinks forward, finds Tinker, doing a nice little chunk of damage, kills Tinker instantly. Wow, a lot of damage going his way. Level 16 Anti-Mage is probably what we're seeing right here. Anti-Mage does get hit with a nice little Ice Blast coming from HR Pressure. He will be getting hit with a bunch of nukes. He will officially be going down, trying to win the fight, not going to be able to win it, forced to blink away. Meanwhile, Darkseer throws out the wall. The fight is going to be happening between Darkseer and everybody else. It looks like he will be losing the fight because everybody else is there. Actually, no, he stays alive just a little bit. And that was the damage. Oh, sorry, that was the resistance coming out from that Pipe of Insight. Blinks away just in time. Blink Dagger Darkseer is an intelligent item for Darkseer to have. And Morphin's just waiting for his wall to end before he can walk past that. It should be running out like right about now. Okay, now. Alright, now. There, it ends. Yeah, Anti-Mage's pretty darn farmed. He has his heart. All he needs now is to buy that last piece, send in the courier out to the secret shop to buy it. And this is pretty much an identical build to what we saw last time. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him go for Boots of Travel instead of a Butterfly, but still, this is a 6-slotted Anti-Mage. Actually, no, A-Blade. He needs an A-Blade. Which is actually going to pose an interesting dynamic because Morphling does have a Link Sphere available. So Anti-Mage is going to have to drop his ulti on top of Morphling first and then drop A-Blade. Or let somebody else do a spell on top of him or something. One of those things. Right, pings do come over here, they're looking for the birds. Or they're looking for, I don't know, that's like a weird observable placement. They can see everything on the outside of the map. Kind of cool. Bane just dropping wards everywhere. Finds the birds finally. Invis rune used. The birds are still chasing. And what's up with that ward? I don't know, guys. If they do get a kill because of this ward, it'll be like the best ward. Like next level thinking right there. Tinker up top. Does cancel his TP because I think his creep died. And the TP does come forward on top of his birds. They do find him. Oh man, Tinker does cancel TP as well. The birds do get scattered out though. They're going to go for something. And Tinker's eventually going to TP somewhere. Instead, he TP's mid on top of this creep wave. He will be here with his team. Blinks away. Oh man, Morphling coming in, getting hit with the Fiend's Grip right off the back. Windrunner taking a bunch of damage. She will be able to survive. Dagon from Tinker says, bro, no. And we got a dead Morphling finally, but he did have Aegis on the backside of that. Tinker getting hit with that nice little Batward to pull. Batward trying to pull Tinker to the worst spot possible. Not going to be able to find it. Tinker actually killed Batward if he wanted to. Anti-Mage comes forward, does a bunch of damage to his Tinker, and once again the ulti into the life of that Tinker. And now his watch ends is totally what he'll say, because he is officially on the dead watch. Not the Night's watch, because he's not as cool. A Rapper 4 from Clockwork catches the Barrett, a beautiful grapple. Spider Clock is Spider Clock. And ZK are giving these guys a run for the money, I'll give them that, but things are still looking pretty darn bad for them. Anti-Mage is their silver lining, and they really need Anti-Mage to get him to do with right clicks. And I seriously would love to see Anti-Mage get a BKB, because I feel he really needs one in this game. With all his control coming out from Clockwork and Tinker, you really need one. He comes in, goes full mid mode, goes full retard, wants to get a kill. Dagon from Tinker does get used on the wrong thing, and now we got Ancient Apparition, might be going down. Tinker's blinked into the base. I think Tinker made the biggest mistake of his life. He does have a blink available in 7 seconds, but it's not going to be fast enough. Shackle shot from Windrunner, does fly, doesn't catch anybody. Darkseer vacuum, pulls Morphling in. Morphling throwing out the nice little shotgun, does get a kill immediately on top of Bane. And now we got Darkseer forced to run away from his Anti-Mage Remnant, or illusion that was made his ally doing too much damage. Windrunner coming forward, power shot flies. Oh wait, sorry, I was wrong side. Wait, what was it? Oh, Morphling, right. Morphling made an illusion of Anti-Mage. And speaking of Morphling, he has himself a Scotty. So yes, okay, let's talk about this. I said before, if you're playing Morphling and you decide to build a heart over a butterfly, you're doing it wrong. And the reason why I'm saying that you're doing it wrong is because the regen is nice on Morphling and all, but what's better than the regen is being able to have more stats to morph to strength and also have a really good ability. So a heart gives you more stats, if I'm not mistaken. A heart gives you like 40 strength, which you can morph to agility if you really need it. But a butterfly, on the other hand, it gives you, I think, 35 agility plus more damage, which if I can find it. There, a heart gives you 30 agility, my bad. 30 agility, 30 damage, 30 attack speed, and it also gives you 35% evasion. And that is the main thing. I think for Morphling, the evasion is more important than the regen, because the regen doesn't work when you get right-clicked anyway. But the evasion works all the time, unless Anti-Mage decides to build an NKB, which is pretty much never. So all that goes an extremely long way to say that Heart of Tarrasque, while it gives you 40 strength, which is 10 more stats that you can morph to agility if you really need, and also gives you some nice 30 health, 30 raw health. It's real nice and all, but it's not as effective when you get into his right clicks. When you start getting into the fisticuffs and whatnot with all these enemies, you want to have yourself some evasion, because that evasion is going to be working tenfold for his Morphling. So if you're thinking about playing Morphling and you decide you're trying to debate whether you get a heart or whether you get a butterfly, you should definitely get a butterfly. But meanwhile, before we talk about that, Clockwork gonna initiate the fight. Immediately, Windrunner's dead. That is the craziest death I've ever seen. Clockwork and crew are gonna come forward. They're gonna kill something. Morphling taking a bunch of damage, actually losing a bunch of mana. Anti-Mage's trying to look for that mana break, not gonna be able to find it. Forced to blink away. Doesn't really get into a bad spot. Clockwork taking a bunch of damage coming up from these remnants. It's not going to be enough to kill him, but he did lose all of his mana, and everybody forced to blink away as far as they possibly can. The pings do come mid, saying, "Hey, bro, let's push mid. Let's get these racks. Let's get this thing done, and then we'll be able to kill this." Anti-Mage illusion, or Anti-Mage's reflection remnant, replicate. The replicate from Morphling of Anti-Mage going to be burning some mana.
Dyer's middle barracks have fallen.
Barrow not liking this, not one bit.
Dyer's middle barracks are not doing so
Wow, really kill him? It's actually a bunch of mana he's draining too. Barrow forced it. Jeez, that thing's surviving. Good lord. Anyway, Anti-Mage's a little bit too survivable. Anyway, Anti-Mage didn't get a kill. Darkseer actually died around the backside. I heard a Nightmare from Bane being used. Dagon used from Tinker on top of something. I think it was on top of Bane. Shackle shot flash from Windrunner. Doesn't really catch anything. Not what she wanted to catch. And Morphling's still alive. Tinker's still alive. Basio doing a phenomenal job of pushing in with this weirdest of like victories, because I swear ZK should have won that last fight. Anti-Mage's doing some really good work. I think one of his biggest drawbacks is the fact that he doesn't have a BKB. He has to worry about a bunch of his magic damage, like the vacuum is disrupting his right click, the birds are disrupting his right click, Morphling is disrupting his right click. It's a lot of things disrupting Anti-Mage's right click. And he seriously needs BKB. Like, this is one of those games where BKB should be like one of the first things that he gets. But instead, he's going to go for Basher, and likely he'll go for BKB afterwards. But what is he going to replace? Probably the Vlides. The Vlides is useless right now. Or it's not as useful as a BKB would be. I guess that's a better way to put it. Anyway, the birds are going to get focused. Anti-Mage is going for the kill. One bird down. Another bird going down here. Oh, the birds! The birds still hiding. Windrunner getting that right click. The vacuum for vision, not going to be able to find them. And oh my gosh, this is Observer Ward. The Observer Ward scouts him. The Observer Ward sees him. Come on, guys, you got this. They know where the birds are. The birds don't know where he is. And Anti-Mage catches one. He needs to blink for it. Does catch one. Does catch the other. Gets both of them. That Observer paid itself back, guys. The birds did officially go down. So, since we have a slight lull in the game, let's look at this gold graph, because it's looking amazing for Basil. They have 1,000 gold in their favor. Now, keep in mind that they have the tower advantage, They also have a slight racks advantage. So if you want to count the advantage that they have in tower and balance things out, make everything equal to 0. They're ahead by 3 towers and 1 racks, which I can't really count for any gold. Let's count it for 200 gold. But 3 towers equate to about 3,000 gold, and 1 racks, let's say 200 gold for everybody, or 200 gold total. I don't know what the numbers are for that. But we'll say, what was that? We'll say 4,000 gold, okay. 4,000 gold in favor of Basio based on towers that are down. So if you want to zero things out, then that is pretty much a 6,000 gold advantage, which is actually really nice. And looking at this kill counter, I'm actually quite shocked to see that Basio have only died 7 times. And I'm starting to wonder who's feeding. Who's totally feeding on Basio's side? Because that is not cool. But no, in all seriousness, Anti-Mage has a lot of last hits, he has a lot of farm, he can carry his team to victory, but he needs to have his team win 1 team fight, and possibly 2 team fights. He needs his allies to be alive, and if you look at the net worth, he's at the top of that chart. I'm not terribly surprised about that, but everybody else for Basio are right behind him, and it's not all that great. The fact that his team is so freaking poor, that is not even funny. Basio have the level advantage as well, so I think everybody should be level 16 by now. Nope, okay. Bane's on level 11. I lied. But everybody on the side of Basio might be level 16 or higher, which will be a gross thing. And yes, Visage almost level 16. Clockwork, he's level 15. Just 1 more level for 16. And I think if they go for a Roche fight and they do win the Roche fight, they will be able to get that last level. Morphling teasing Roshan a little bit. This fight's happening, and the tension is high on both sides. I heard Clockwork rappel in into a worst spot possible. Found himself in the middle of everything. Darkseer's gonna be the only one caught out. Blame out getting used by Clockwork. Morphling just immediately eating him alive, and that's another one eaten alive. Bane and Clockwork, or Bane and Darkseer dropping like flies. Barrow forced to run away. He doesn't want to drop like a fly, so he's gonna go Firefly away. Dead. Wow, dead ancient person is dead. Anti-Mage forced to blink away. Tinker trying to go for the chase. Anti-Mage, he's on the run. He's officially a convict on the run. I'm sad to see no Sheepstick get on top of Tinker, but oh no, he has a Sheepstick. Oh my gosh, if Anti-Mage gets called out, he's going to be dead as dead. He needs to go ahead and run away now. Tinker's going to go for the permanent Hex. The Hex will be following up on the backside. Anti-Mage able to run away far enough. Enough fog in his advantage, and they're looking for an Anti-Mage, but they're not going to be able to find him. I think Anti-Mage needs to get those booster travel. So AM says, bro, I see you guys like Roche. So he's going to go in for it. They're going to go for the kill on top of him. He's going to go fight him all inside the roast pit, all by himself. Morphling doing some nice work as far as the damage goes, and the Windrunner's on the top side. Anti-Mage needs to blink out now. He does blink out just in time. Windrunner not going to be able to find anything. Barrow, a nice little pulling Morphling into a bad spot, but Morphling does have a remnant, so he will be able to use it. Now Clockwork will officially go down. 1 hit is all he really needed. Meanwhile, Bane, Nightmare's Phoenix Grip is falling on top of Clockwork. Tinker's in a lot of trouble. A-Blade getting used by Anti-Mage on top of Clockwork Tinker. And that was a dead Visage. Ancient Prince ulti flying in just to boot. Morphling trying to run away, does not find anything except for more damage, more pain, and more suffering. Anti-Mage still going for the chase, trying to find that Morphling. Morphling going to be forced to more to strength more here. He does have his E-Blade up in now, but it doesn't really matter. Anti-Mage gets himself a triple kill, just the fight that they needed. And like I said, they have to win pretty much 2 team fights to win this game. And Anti-Mage will be getting the Aegis, and he'll probably be dropping that Vlad's for it. And actually it goes to Windrunner, okay. It goes to Windrunner. Anti-Mage says, bro, I don't need it. And I seriously would love to see Anti-Mage go for the BKB, because I think he definitely needs it. That is one of the bigger items that he needs. And oh man, does AA have an axe? Ancient Person has an axe, guys. But Anti-Mage doesn't care because, hey bro, I got magic resist, and also on top of that, I got my heart. So I can't feel nothing. You're gonna go ahead and go for his middle tower? I don't know if you can backdoor it.
Tower is not safe.
I don't know, they're doing nice little chunks of damage to it. The backdoor protection, as it counts, it basically reduces everybody's damage by heroes by 75%? No, by 25% I think. And then it regens the tower up by 90 HP per second. And for illusions, it reduces their damage by 25%, and the tower regen is still there. So that's how backdoor protection works. I had to look into it a while ago. That's totally how it works. You guys can look it up if you want to. It might have changed by now if you watch this in a little bit later time, or I might be off by a little bit number, but heroes hit towers for 75% when there's backdoor protection, and the tower regens at 90 HP per second. Which means that if they can hit with enough damage, then they can pretty much kill it. Which I think Anti-Mage has more than enough damage. He's hitting for, wow. He's hitting for a lot. Over 300. It's over 300! That's what Vegeta would say. And the butterfly is officially finished, so Anti-Mage has the evasion, he has the crazy HP coming out from that heart, and he also has a crazy survivability. And I think he's 6 slotted. The only thing he's missing now is a BKB, but the only thing to replace that with is or to replace, the only thing to put into its place, or the only slot he has available for that potentially is the Battle Fury. Everything else is a little bit too valuable for him to drop, and I think he needs Boost to Travel too. That should be his next item. TP does come on top. Tinker's looking for a kill. He's gonna be able to find nothing. Actually, they find a barrier. Boom goes the dynamite. Jesus, getting exploded as fast as crap. Too much agility, too much swag, and Ziff saying, bro, you mad? You mad, bro? Didn't you see me waving? That's what Morphling would say.
Price is nice.
But Morphling's agility sitting at, wow, over 200. Pretty nice. Oh, right, there's an AC up on Visage. So the birds are going to do more damage, Morphling's going to do more damage, and I think this is going to be the final fight. Bauer is down for 26 seconds. I think they will be able to get here fast enough for the 26 seconds to, oh man, beautiful shot coming from Windrunner. Morphling might be in trouble. He might be going down. No, he actually does a bunch of damage to Windrunner. She officially gets the Aegis popped. Pushes out first up by Antimage. Antimage says, bro, let's do this. He pops an A-Blow on top of Morphling. Morphling taking a bunch of damage, gets forced step forward, able to surge away, or sorry, able to wait from away. Tinker comes into the middle of the fight, not going to be able to find the right target. Trying to do what he can. Oh man, stuff happening everywhere. Phoenix Grip falls on top of Tinker. Tinker going to be going down. Antimage does get the kill on top of that. Morphling trying to go for the right clicks. Antimage has enough mana for Blink. Finds the Morphling. Morphling forced to wait from away. Does officially go down. Antimage doing all kinds of damage, just ravaging this whole entire team. Dear God, guys, Antimage too farmed. He would have gotten himself a rampage if Ancient Apparition didn't die by the wrong person. And I think we're starting to see why people are afraid of 3. Oh, look at all the... Oh my God. It's like, oh man. It's like they walked into the wrong neighborhood and the whole entire crew just blunked in to kill some birds. Oh, jeez. So, okay guys, I think it's, it goes without saying that Antimage is ready to kill everything. I think Antimage is farmed. I'm pretty sure Antimage is fully farmed. I mean, he's out of mana right now, and if he had mana for his Manta Style, it'll be a nice fight for them coming up, but he has just enough mana for Manta Style and no Blink. So he'll likely pop his Manta Style when the creeps get here, push the tower, and then blink out by the time all that happens. Yeah, he has enough mana for Blink now. Fortify, forced to get used. These illusions are tanky as crap. They have heart, they have butterfly. I think illusions get evasion. I'm not too terribly sure, but the buybacks are forced out. Morphling's going to be the first one to buyback. Antimage going to be forced to blink out here very soon. Does get hit with the Rapple, does get hit with a nice little chunk of damage. He will be able to blink out here, so he will be fine. And that's just the end of the fight. That's one of the most disheartening things in the world. Meanwhile, Zissify does get hit with the stuns coming off from the birds. Nice chain stuns coming from these guys. Tinker going to be forced to come forward, sheep her up, and kill her with his damage. His Dagon is too huge for her. Lols, see what I did there? Oh man, inappropriate jokes are great, guys, sometimes. But I seriously do think Antimage needs to give himself a BKB, but the question is, where did he put it? I mean, his Battle Fury is doing work as far as pushing towers. Oh my gosh, he's going to be going 1v1 versus Tinker. Tinker does cancel that TP, very smart so. And Antimage is going to go ahead and TP out. They're looking for him, they're trying to see if they can get him. They won't be able to find him because he is officially gone. Meanwhile, Darkseer has a sheep stick of his own, which I think is a great item for him to have. Because if he can sheep up Tinker, then Antimage can do whatever he wants. Whatever he wants. Tinker's the only person who can actually challenge Antimage at this point in time. And I totally called this out during the draft, just going on the record saying that. Totally called this out. But Antimage versus Morphling, late game Morphling's going to lose that fight because Antimage just burns too much mana too darn fast. One of Morphling's redeeming qualities is that he can morph to strength very fast. And if you just take all his mana away, he can't morph to strength anymore. And he has no more survivability. So it costs 30 mana per second for Morphling to morph to strength, which means that assuming he doesn't use any other ability, he can morph to strength 30 divided by 1,706, which I'm not even going to bother to do the math for. Let's just assume he'll be able to morph. Okay, he can only morph so much. He can only morph but so much. He only has, what, 175 agility to work with as far as morphing? It's morphing time, yeah. So anyway, not bad. It also gives him bonus agility, what? What is this? Point shift per second, 2 point shift per second. So morphing 2 points per second, he has 150 agility, so he can only morph 75 seconds. So he has to run his ulti for 75 seconds, which costs 30 mana per second. So I think if he morphs for that long, he's probably out of mana anyway, before that even happens. Let's see the math. Fine, I'll do the math. 70 times 75 seconds? No, 30 times 75 seconds. So 30 times 75 equals... He needs 2,250 mana to morph all of his strength available, or all his agility available to strength. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't have enough mana to morph everything to strength anyway. And also, put on top of that, oh man, Antimage died. Oh my gosh, guys, my bad, I missed Antimage's death. Doesn't really matter. He's gonna be come back alive in 50 seconds, and he has buyback. He's gonna be forced to buy back now. I think he should have saved that. I really do think he should have saved that, because they would have pushed in. They wouldn't have won those fights. There's enough control. Actually, no, I take it back. Anti-Mage is the most farmed person. Bane would have died as soon as they looked at him, and everybody else would have died too as soon as they looked at him. I still think Anti-Mage could have stalled a little bit. I mean, he forced him to go back just by buying back, but it was only 50 more seconds for it. Okay. Reasonable buyback. He waited as long as he could. The pings do come middle. And this game will come down to the next team fight, guys. And you guys should get as excited as I am, because things are about to go down, guys. It's about to freaking go down. Anti-Mage has a massive amount of farm. He's the one carrying his whole entire team, whereas if you have Basile, they're all sitting on pretty much equal footing as far as their love or farm goes. But they are, as a team, way more farm than Anti-Mage together. The question is, will Anti-Mage be able to kill every single one of them before they can kill him? And I think the answer to that question is probably not. He's actually going to blink over to the side of the jungle, wait around the backside, probably throw an illusion at him. It might be really nice if he does. He actually throws an illusion, pops a man style. I don't know if this is the best advice, but he's going to go all in. He's trying to do all he can. Kills the sides immediately. He throws an A-blade on top of Morphin. Morphin forced to stand still. No BKB can use. Batrider has a BKB available. Anti-Mage, I don't know where he's at, but he's losing a lot of HP. Morphin loses a lot of HP too. BKB coming out from Batrider. He's trying to run away. He will be able to run away. Morphin trying to go for the toe-to-toe fight. He might get bashed here very soon. Throws out the E-blade just to keep himself alive. Darkseer has the stuff available. Batrider and crew blink forward. Morphin to strength, losing a bunch of mana. He will officially be going out. Anti-Mage wins this fight for his team, and that was one of the weirdest initiations of our fight, but I think it was well timed from ZK, and ZK saying, bro, we may be down, but we're definitely not out. Bane actually goes down to the Tinker on the backside, and it looks like Anti-Mage's going to continue to push. I don't know if he has enough damage to kill a tower by himself, but he's going to do it. He's going to try for it. Nope, not enough damage. He's actually going to try to kill Tinker instead. Tinker, not really sure which one's which. Pops himself an E-blade. Or sorry, pops himself a Ghost Scepter. And now he's doing what he can. He's going to throw out the permanent hex on top of this. Oh man, he gets hexed up for himself. Anti-Mage is going to come forward, try to go for the kill. Clockwork Force to come into here because of the vacuum. And now the E-blade, or sorry, the A-blade. My bad. The A-blade gets used on top of the on top of the Clockwork, and he officially goes down. Meanwhile, the creeps are not here just yet, but they are marching in full force. Darkseer going to get hit with the Ancient Pressure ulti. Actually, it misses him, but Anti-Mage is going to continue to do what he can, losing a bunch of HP. Needs to be very careful. He will be able to blink here very soon. No, he gets sheeped up again. He will be going down. Gets surged away. Not enough to keep him alive, and 110 seconds left for him to be alive. A valiant push indeed, but I think it was a little bit too overzealous of him to keep on pushing that hard. Batrider can blink away in a few seconds. Darkseer surges away. These guys look like they might want to go for something. They're going to ping on top of Ancient Apparition saying, bro, he's looking like a tasty meal. Let's go for him. And Shun saying, no, please don't.
Regeneration.
But ZK definitely did buy themselves some nice time. They bought themselves quite a bit of time. Alright, and a friend. Shout out to you, Drain. Hi, Drain. Love you, man. We need to cast together sometime. But Drain is casting Starlighter. Sweet. Oh my gosh, it feels so weird seeing all my friends grow up. Anyway, Tinker's gonna TP up top. Oh man, he's gonna blink forward. He's gonna try to get his kill on top of. Oh my gosh, biggest mistake of his life. Tinker going down is a big deal. He's gonna be going down in the best way possible, and that is all to the enemy team. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage is gonna be up in 41 seconds. Tinker's dead for 110 seconds, which I think is the max time. And a lot of people are kind of upset right now. I would be very upset if I was Tinker. That was a very overzealous push from him. Winner has a sheep stick, by the way. Actually, geez, I need to take a look at the rest of these items. What, F5? There you go. Okay, Winner has a sheep stick. I know Darkseer has a sheep stick. So 2 sheep sticks are up on top of ZK. They have the control necessary to make sure that Tinker and Morphling cannot do anything. My question is, will Morphling be? Oh man, Morphling doesn't have himself a remnant up, which I think is a big mistake. Bane looking for a nightmare, not gonna be able to find it. And now we got both sides ready to fight. Batrider blinking forward, force definitely. See if we can find anybody. Both teams are on pins and needles right now. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. Basile are up by 1 game. ZK do not want to make any mistake to make them lose this game. If ZK loses this game, they'll officially be out of the victory, or the potential victory for this game. So they need to win. They need to win this next team fight, and they need to kill these Raxus so this can go to a game 3, so they can prove themselves, or so they can prove to everybody that they are, in fact, the best team in this Friday night evening, or sorry, Friday night Dota series. Jeez. Got title. Oh, my bad. It's been so long, guys! Friday Night Live Dota. There you go. That's how you call it. Anyway, H-Jumpers ulti gonna fly through. Gonna catch everybody who's here. I think everybody needs to immediately run away. This is not a good fight for them. They're already losing their HP. H-Mage says, no, bro. We need to go for this Aegis. We need this Aegis on Windrunner. They're gonna go for it. The Radiant are not responding. Bastion are not coming through as fast as I thought they would be. But the birds are already here for Visage. So Tinker can TP if he needs to. Battery does officially clear us out. TP can come on top. No, it cannot. So it can come on top of Illusion. Aegis does go to Windrunner. And the Cheese actually has picked up a Batter. And nobody came and fought. I'm actually really surprised that Bastion said, bro, no, just give it up. Let's just give it up. Just give up the Aegis. Tinker's back. That's a good thing. Morphling getting himself more farms. Has a Scotty, has a Butterfly. Has himself boosted travel, which is really nice. And he also has the E-Blade available. So he can actually go for anything that he wants to now. And I think a BKB will be the next thing on his list. BKB won't keep him alive all that long versus Anti-Mage. But versus everybody else, at the very least, the BKB will stop them from sheeping him up and whatnot. And some people will argue that because Morphling has a Lincoln Sphere, he doesn't need a BKB. I say no, you always need a BKB. Lincoln Sphere is going to block the Fiend's Grip coming from Bane, and actually no, now I think about that. Dang, that kind of sucks. Three things that go through BKB, which is going to be really annoying for Morphling to deal with. But at the very least, he won't take any damage coming out from the Fiend's Grip. He won't take any damage coming out from the Firefly or from the Lasso doesn't do any damage from the Firefly. He also won't take any damage coming out from Anti-Mage's ulti. So, and on top of that, he won't be getting controlled by the Windrunner or Darkseer because of the Sheepstick. So I think a BKB will be necessary for him to have. And on the flip side, Anti-Mage, the same exact story. I still think he needs a BKB. Battle Fury is great for doing a bunch of damage to everybody who's around, and I think it might be well worth the potentials of getting chain stunned to death. But even still, I think he needs a BKB because if Anti-Mage had a BKB, there's nothing Tinker can do to him. There's absolutely nothing Tinker can do to him except for blink forward and die. So H-Jumper's ulti gonna fly through, hits almost everybody except for Darkseer. I think if Darkseer has a pipe, he needs to go and pop it now. And he does in fact pop it. They're gonna go forward and kill everything. Tower's looking pretty darn low, looking pretty darn juicy. They're going to go for it. Anti-Mage's Manta Style should be off cooldown in roughly now. They're going to go for it. Anti-Mage's Manta Style does get popped. He's going to go for the tower kill. Gets turned to a sheep. Gets hit with a nice little slow coming up for everybody. And Batroid coming forward for the lasso. Finds the lasso on top of Morphling. He's pulling Morphling to the worst spot possible. Morphling does still have waveform. Waveform does come through. Anti-Mage's getting turned to a piggy once again. Not chain stunned to death, but he's still about to be going down here very soon. Getting hit. Okay, there's a focus. That's what I was looking for. Anti-Mage will officially be going down. Double kill going towards the sides. And now Aegis does get popped by Windrunner. Oh, on Windrunner. And she can do nothing to run away, really. I mean, she can force staff in like 8 seconds. She's actually gonna try to TP away. The stun will not come through in time. Oh my gosh, Windrunner makes it out alive by the skin of her teeth. And guys, just to clarify, you do have what's called gums in your teeth, and that's skin on your teeth technically. But as far as skin on your teeth, as far as the phrase goes, that means like if you scratch your tooth, like you scratch your actual tooth that you chew with, and something comes off, that's not skin. That's like plaque. You need to go brush your teeth, please. So anyway, just had to clear that up. There is skin on your teeth in the form of gums, but there's no skin on your teeth in the sense that that's not supposed to be there. You should probably go clean that. Morphling looking for Bane, not gonna be able to find him. And Morphling and Tinker just showing, hey bro, we got the control necessary to stop you guys. We can do what we can. Or so you can do what you can to try to stop us, but you need to have yourself a BKB. And oh my god, the fight's gonna happen. A Windrunner dying immediately. Morphling coming forward, getting hit with the Nightmare. He's forced to pop his Remnant. Force the Pupper's Ruiner and run away, and he will be able to make it out just fine. And I still think one of the biggest mistakes is the fact that Anti-Mage hasn't built a BKB. And like part of me wants to say, Anti-Mage, build BKB, please, God. But that would be
bottom barracks.
That would be inappropriate as a caster. So the question will still remain: will Anti-Mage ever build a BKB? Because I think a Battle Fury is nice, but he needs to have a BKB. He just spent gold. He actually got himself an MKB. Yep, he's okay. Anti-Mage is getting himself an MKB so he can actually hit Morphling. Because the 35% evasion happening on top of Morphling is very annoying. So I do agree with this choice over a BKB. I think this is excuse me. I do think this is an intelligent choice. As far as things that, or sorry, as far as all things considered, I think this is an intelligent choice for Anti-Mage. I still would love to see a freaking BKB on Anti-Mage, but there's really no room for him. I mean, he has the A-Blade, he has the Mint Style, he has the Butterfly, he has the Boost of Travel, he has the Heart. You only have 6 slots in Dota. If only he has 7, so you can actually have room for that. But there's some things you gotta sacrifice in trying to go for the ultimate build, and this is definitely a great build for Anti-Mage. So like I keep saying, because I know I keep saying, oh my gosh, Anti-Mage build BKB, but guys, I understand that Anti-Mage has the items necessary to win this game. This is a matter of, can his team out-control the enemy, or can he not get as controlled by the enemy as he needs to be. Although it's arguable, he could potentially replace that MKB with a BKB, so he can just do more right click and just kill Tinker and deal with Morphling later. Because Morphling's only, what, dodging things about 35%? But the mini stun versus everybody else is kind of nice too. I don't know, it's debatable, man. It sucks. I wish I had a codecaster here to like talk me through it. But CulBlu just, I can't deal with it, man. I can't deal with it. Anti-Mage, get a BKB. So Anti-Mage has used his buyback. He does have buyback up in 4 minutes. Time. I don't know if oh man, I think it's about to be a fight happening here. We got Tinker using that nice. Oh wow, a lot of damage happened to Anti-Mage already. And the Ghost Scepter, keeping Anti-Mage nice and safe versus all of the missile damage, because missiles cannot hit ether units if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, missiles do not hit ether units, so that's one thing that sucks. Otherwise, it'd be pretty darn broken. That's a lot of damage. It's like 325 damage plus, or times 2 plus like some other percentage. So it'll be really painful. Alright. So what are both sides trying to do? BKB is up on Morphling, which is a great item. It means he won't get sheeped anymore. And I think Morphling's totally listened to me, so CulBlu totally called it. We'll see who wins this fight now. Because I think one of the reasons why Anti-Mage can't necessarily just completely dominate Morphling in these fights is because Morphling has a team. There's 4 other people on the map for Morphling, or in support of Team Morphling. It's like Team Morphling versus Team Anti-Mage. But there's 4 other team members on the side of Mbasiel's side that are supporting Morphling. And they're doing a great job of making sure Anti-Mage can't do anything. Like Tinker's trying to chain stun, or sorry, trying to perma-hex Anti-Mage as much as he possibly can. You also have the Clockwork who is rappelling in whenever he needs to try to break up the fight a little bit. I mean, those power cogs are doing some kind of work. Let's give credit where credit is definitely due. Power cogs break up the fight. They make it annoying as all get out for your supports to do anything. And oh yeah, Battery Assault versus Bane. That's like, Bane can't do jack squat. He can barely get himself off a nice little... Excuse me. He can barely get off a nice little brain zap when the Battery Assault's going through. And you have Ancient Apparition throwing all kinds of mortars all around the place. I mean, it's just being all kinds of annoyance. The birds do come through. The birds will be able to claim a Rax. Anti-Mage is going to come forward and claim all the birds. And now the fight's going to be happening on top. 1 Rax is down. 2 Rax is down total, but 1 Rax down in every lane except for the top lane, which still has its tower intact. But it looks like the push will be coming forward. No. Basil just split pushing. Nice intelligent split pushing. And this is one of those awkward moments where you can't break the base. But you'll try as hard as you possibly can, darn it. And I still would argue MKB versus BKB. I think MKB gives him a lot of resources to deal with Morphling, but nothing else to deal with everybody else. So it's kind of like an opportunity cost. I mean, if he gets a BKB, then Morphling gets all the evasion in the world. If he gets an MKB, at least he gets some more damage, and on top of that, he can kill Morphling now. So Barrett coming forward, venturing forth to look for a nice little lasso. I think they need some wards out here. Maybe just a ward right there.
Their bottom barracks.
If they can that'll help it, which the answer to that is probably not. Clockwork. Oh, bottom Raxes do go down. Oh man, Lasso gets used on Morphling. Morphling a little bit trouble. No evasion for you. Getting hit with the Fiend's Grip as well. A lot of damage coming towards Morphling. He will officially be going down. Windrunner and crew are just focusing him down. He officially dies. 99 seconds on his cooldown timer. Everybody's getting hit with those power cards. Anti-Mage blinks forward. Finds a Clockwork. Getting hit with a bunch of damage himself. E-Blade coming off from Morphling. Keeping his ally alive. Not going to be enough. He actually dies to an E-Blade of somebody else's. Or I think he dies to E-Blade of somebody else's. Somebody else has an E-Blade? No, it's the E-Blade up on Visage, E-Blade up on Morphling, and Morphling did die, so that E-Blade did come from Visage, even though it showed a weird animation. But the Dire are able to hold the MKB, surprisingly enough, to help him kill Morphling. And Morphling has a bunch of HP, sure, but he can't do anything when he's hit with that Fiend's Grip. So the answer to all the questions are basically you have to use Fiend's Grip and Lasso on top of Morphling, and That's a lot of resources. The push will continue to come forth. Bane gonna get hit with that nice little ancient burst ulti. Pipe countering that pretty darn well. Nice play coming up from these guys. They're not feeling any of that magic damage, and they're just gonna continue to push. Anti-Mage block forward. Whoop, I heard a blink. Okay, he's gonna go ahead and go down bottom, kill these Raxes. These Raxes do not have backdoor protection because the creeps are in the base, and there's a lot of damage coming to his action. No, they do have backdoor protection. Doesn't really matter. Anti-Mage's doing a bunch of damage. He's forced to blink away. Morphling TP's in. He buys back and TP's in. That is exactly what they want to have happen. They were trying to force Morphling to buy back. They got himself one set of Rax, or one Rax, and meanwhile down bottom, these birds are being annoying as all get out. Batrider will be able to find them. And they're just going to keep doing this. At least these Raxes regen. Like, the melee Raxes, I don't know if you guys know this, but the melee Rax have regen. They have 5 regen. Whereas the range Rax, they don't have any regen. So any damage you do to a range Rax stays permanent, while these, oh man, hold on, whoa, we got somebody getting caught on Winter and getting caught in the worst spot possible. We got the phase grip getting used on top of Tinker. Tinker will be going down, and that is officially a dead Tinker. These guys have been masterful at their baits. Get it, guys? Master baits. Anyway, not bad. That was an inappropriate joke. But continue on with everything else while we have some craziness going on. ZK are pulling this game back from a crazy lead that Basil had. Like, there was a 10,000 gold advantage at one point in time for Basil. But once Antimage got his big items, he said, bro, I am farmed. Let's do this. And Basil have been struggling extremely hard to deal with them. Tinker has the permahex available, but I think we're getting to the point where Tinker needs a BKB. And when Tinker needs a BKB, that's when you know things are going pretty damn bad. Like, Tinker needs to sell Sol Ring or sell Dagon, probably Sol Ring, and get BKB, just so he can survive versus all the control coming up from these guys. Because the Winter and Darkseid, they're going to use their Sheepstick on Tinker first thing they can. BKB for on top of Tinker won't stop the Fiend's Grip, it won't stop the lasso from Batrider, but it will force these guys to choose, because I mean they still have Morphling to deal with. So Bane can say, okay, do I use my Fiend's Grip on top of Tinker, who has a Lincoln now? Or do I use my Fiend's Grip on top of Morphling, who has a Lincoln now? And Batrider has the same dilemma. Either way, somebody's going to lose an ability. Rashawn going to be going down. It's just going to Windrunner, presumably. I think it should go to Batrider. And yes, it does go to Batrider. And Windrunner still has cheese from before, so Darkseid has himself cheese right now, or Bane. Bane will be the cheese taker. Which would be great for him, because he gets killed pretty darn fast. He's like shows up and dies. And let's take a look at the levels on the side of the supports, because I mean, I don't know if I ever said this in this game, but I used to almost always say this every single cast I had. But I'll go ahead and throw it out. Alright guys, let's go and take a look at the XP graph, because the XP graph, hold on, let's go and take a look at the XP graph. Now keep in mind the XP graph is, wait, hold on. Oh, hold on, give me a second. I forgot. Oh, yeah. The XP graph is relatively irrelevant because, okay, I'll talk about this later. Anyway, we got Morphling coming in, initiating the fight. Winner forcing cheese. She's gonna be forcing Morphling to back away. All his nukes used already. Meanwhile, Antimason says, bro, screw all your stuff. BKB coming from Batrider. He's a big man on campus. Morphling says, bro, I got a BKB too. Let's do this. Meanwhile, Batrider does go down. Morphling taking a bunch of damage coming from, or a bunch of control coming from Fiend's Grip. Sheepstick used on top of Tinker. A-Blade follows up on top of Morphling's face, and Antimason trying to go for some kills, something, taking a bunch of damage. Does officially go down, but he has buyback, so he's okay with that. Meanwhile, Batrider, he's gonna be forced to run away. Darkseid throws out the wall, throws out the vacuum. Not gonna be able to do too terribly much afterwards. He did already eat his cheese. Actually, no, he didn't have cheese to begin with, but he's still, yeah, gonna still be trying to go for something. Antimace TP's in, goes for a kill, double kill for him on top of his size, looking for a kill on top of Ancient Version. We'll be able to find it. I think it's pretty much GG right now. We got Darkseid going all in, going balls deep, for lack of better phrases, and Morphling comes back as well, does a bunch of damage, and buyback from his size and Ancient Version. Antimace trying to go for a quick kill on top of these towers, gonna blink away, doesn't want to lose too terribly much, and he gets wrapped up by Clockwork. Clockwork has the chase potential possible to keep up on top of this Antimace, but Antimace is gonna go ahead and run away. No Agam Scepter for Clockwork, like I said before, he really needs to have the Ags. Meanwhile, Antimage has himself a regen rune waiting for him.
A healing power.
So an explosive fight. All in all, Antimage did lose his life, but he did come back, and he was officially able to claim something. And that was these bottom Raxes and one of these middle towers, which means that these creeps are going to have a much easier time killing stuff. You got 2 lanes of creeps pushing in, and this tower's already taking a chunk of damage. The courier actually comes through. Oh, that courier needs to be careful. But the courier comes through and brings Ancient Versus some wards. AA does have himself a Ghost Scepter, which is cool for him. And yes, let's go to this XP graph since this game will continue on, which is cool. So the XP graph, as I always say about the XP graph is relatively irrelevant because the longer and longer the game goes on, the closer and closer it converts to 0. But it's still a really good indicator of where everybody is at this current point in time. And as you guys can see, that prophecy has been fulfilled. There was a point in time where Basile had so much advantage, it's not even funny. It was like, guys, if you lose this game, Antimage had too much fun, that's what happened. Or you guys let this game go too late. But there's also a point where we have to consider that, yeah, if the game goes on for like 30 hours, then everybody's going to be level 25. Everybody's going to be on equal footing. And that level advantage immediately goes away. So the only reason why that happens is because ZK got enough farm on the Antimage. And Antimage, by the result of his team creating enough room for Antimage to get farm, Antimage created enough room for his team to get farm, or create enough situations to where his team can actually stay alive long enough to catch those levels. And you're starting to see that everybody on the map is officially above, or level 16 and above, and pretty much most of the supports, or most of the important people on the side of ZK are level 25. The only, okay, 24 or higher. The only exception to that is, of course, Barretter. I think Barretter needs a little bit higher, but everybody else who's important, such as the Windrunner at this point, and Anti-Mage, and Darkseer, they have their level 24 and higher, and they're just going to keep on trucking until this game ends. And the kill counter is sitting at 24, 29, which means that only, what was that? That's 11, 6, 70, 71 kills? Only 71 kills have happened so far. And Smoke to see does get used. They're going for some smoke tactics. So buyback status, Anti-Mage has 3 minutes and 20 something seconds before his buyback comes up. I think these guys will be able to hold on long enough before the next team fight, before they can actually do that. The smoke game's getting used. They're trying to look for a Tinker. And they're actually, the whole entire rating side is actually moving in the exact opposite direction. But the Iron Shell is used. They should be seeing the damage. If anybody's paying attention, they don't see the damage. They're going to keep on going. Oh, no, they pinged it. They saw the creeps. They saw the creeps take some damage. So I don't know if they're suspecting a smoke gank or what. We got everybody coming forward. Morphling is smoked up along with the rest of his team. The creeps are pushing forward in full force. 2 siege creeps and was it 3? No, 2 siege creeps and 2 range creeps and like 20 million melee creeps. That's usually what it goes up to. And these creeps hit hard. Look at that. They hit for 70 damage. Versus these creeps who hit for freaking... No. Wait, no. Okay, the melee. Never mind. They're melee. Or sorry, not melee. They're mega on both sides. But these ones hit for 41. So those creeps hit pretty darn hard. 29 extra damage, just for getting megas. Alright, so I said this once before, but I get to tell you guys all about it again. One of the things that makes Anti-Mage a really good carry is the fact that his base attack time is 1.45. And I don't know what Morphlings is. I think Morphlings might be 1.7 like everybody else's. So let's go and check that. To see who should win these last click or right click fights between Morphling and Anti-Mage. So look up Morphling, Dota 2, and Morphling's base attack time is 1.6. Okay, so his base attack time for Morphling is actually pretty decent, or not pretty decent, it's better than normal people, but it's not as good as Anti-Mage's, which means that Morphling should theoretically lose the right click fight to Anti-Mage, assuming Anti-Mage can close that gap, which he most definitely can. But also keep in mind that Morphling has a way to reduce or increase that gap again with the waveform. He also has the Ether Blade to help him out as well. So a missile hit just hit on top of Zensify, all in that Windrunner. Gonna be forcing her to run back. She has herself a Sheepstick, Force Staff, Mechanism, and Boots of Travel, and the items on both sides are looking really impressive though. I'll give them that. I mean, they're about what you expect to see in a 70-minute game, I guess. But Barretter has himself a Sheepstick and a BKB now, so he can actually go in and do whatever he wants. Or, well, okay, assuming he has the HP to survive it. Anti-Mage, he's been sending the same items the whole entire game. The only difference is that he replaced that Battle Fury with an MKB, which is a nice item for him to have. He can actually kill Morphling now. And the mini-stun helps out to stop Tinker from just TPing away whenever Anti-Mage does things. Just listen to me when I'm talking to you. E-Blade and MKB are up on Morphling, so both sides have cancelled out the evasion. The only advantage that Morphling has is that he's ranged and he has an Ether Blade, which means that he can actually survive. And we actually have E-Blades all around the place. Tinker has an E-Blade, which means that he can officially TP out while he's E-Bladed. The only thing that can stop him is a Lasso, Phoenix Grip, or Anti-Mage ulti, which I think a Vacuum can stop him too. Yeah, Vacuum. Pretty much any stun can stop him from TPing out. So he needs to be careful about that. No more right click can stop him. No more death can stop him. And also to ZK, we see 3 sheep sticks up on their side. Oh wait, no, I already talked about them. Yeah, 3 sheep sticks up on their side. Anyway, E-Blade, 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 and the BKB from Morphling. Excuse me. Nothing else. Nothing else too terribly impressive. I mean, everything is impressive. I'll give them that, but don't, come on guys. Remember that this is like a 70-minute game. Besides, he does have the items necessary to start building himself boots to travel. I think he's trying to save for buyback, because he's definitely going to need it if he does go down, which he most likely will. Put it on easily. The pings do come on the map though. They're trying to go for the push. All lanes are pushing in favor of the Diary because they have mega creeps, so they don't have to worry about it. Top lane is the only one they have to worry about. And I'm actually kind of sad to see Tinker's not just TPing around, push these lanes back. But it is going to be a lot of trouble because this bottom lane is about to be pushing in. They're going to go for the fight. Even if oh man, Sheepstick is using top of Tinker, he blinks the wrong, oh wow, worst spot possible. He officially goes out, Phoenix Grip used as perfect timing. Sheepstick getting used on Bane. Bane does go down officially. Meanwhile, we got Darkseid running away. Lasso comes out for Bat Ready, trying to run away from this Morphling, getting slowed up by everything. A-Blade from Anti-Mage on top of Morphling. Morphling gonna be able to survive just long enough. Both sides sheeped up. Anti-Mage perma-hex, doesn't really care. He has an Iron Shell. He's gonna keep on doing what he can. Tinker trying to do what he can to kill somebody, not gonna be able to kill anybody. Anti-Mage blinks forward, says, bro, let's do this. Kills himself and wild nobody. And now he's gonna go for kill on top of Ancient Bruce. He does officially go down. Has buyback available though. Should have buyback available. Yeah, he has buyback available, but he's gonna go ahead and wait it out because all the creeps are pushing in their favor. I don't think ZK has to do anything right now to win this game. The whole entire ball is in Bastil's court, and they have to knock it back as hard as they possibly can. Tinker, he was forced to buy back into this fight, so his buyback is now on cooldown. But even still, the fact that he actually died in these fights is actually not a good thing. The push will be happening mid. Looks like these guys will be able to make their timing correctly. Tinker's going to be controlling the lanes, pushing towards their base, and everybody else will be pushing mid. I don't think going for Roche is in their advantage, but they're going to go ahead and go for Roche. That's a huge pick. Roshan was pinged.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're saying, bro, they're doing Roche, let's do this. Or, get this. Defend this. Okay, I can't tell whose ping that was, but it was a blue one.
Radiant's middle tower.
Okay, Roshan does go down. Aegis actually goes to Tinker. And they do TP as fast as they can. Cheese actually got left on the ground. Did somebody pick up Cheese? Yeah. Clockwork picked up Cheese. Cool.
Incoming.
So the death push will be coming mid for Basil. Saying, bro, you guys may have the advantage, or you guys may have some kind of like counter advantage, but we still have the advantage. And Anti-Mage is up in 35 seconds. His buyback is still intact, which means this next fight that happens, it will be a fight. Anti-Mage will buy back. He'll likely die, he'll buy back, just so he'll have an Aegis of his own, which is in the form of buyback. But still, he should be able to do well. He actually forced a buyback now. Oh man, not what you want to have happen. Forced to buyback already. His buyback is now officially on cooldown. He won't be able to buy back for another fight. I think he should have waited. But they're going to go for a fight. They're going to try to go for a kill on top of someone. They do catch nobody. Anti-Mage is actually standing still right now. Not right-clicking anything. Does get the kill on top of Morphling. Morphling does have buyback of his own, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to go for kill on top of Versace, who actually pops himself an E-Blade of his own. Does do a nice little chunk of damage to Bat Rider, but not enough to kill him. I think Bat Rider used Cheese in that one. Yeah, he officially used Cheese on that one. Clockwork forced to force that away. He does have himself a Sheep Stick available. Does get hit the first hit Bash, because Bash is OP. Bash Lord Anti-Mage. Please nerf. Oh my jeez. He's going to go all in. Clockwork has Cheese available. Going to be forced to eat it here very soon. He's going to eat it now. No, he's going to save it. Going to wait for himself to die. And they're going to continue to push. Anti-Mage TPing down bottom immediately. Going to go ahead and push along with the rest of his allies. They're going to go for this win. They're going to go for this victory because if they let it stall long enough, too long, then it'll be too much for them to deal with. Keep in mind, Tinker still has the Aegis. Morphling, he can't really do much as far as building more impressively. I mean, those are some really good items for Morphling to have. Just Anti-Mage has a little bit too much for him to deal with. The Permahex can happen on top of Anti-Mage, but he doesn't really care. He's going to go all in. Balls deep is what he calls it. Going to go for the kill. Sheepstick can use top of Tinker, so he can't use Sheepstick on top of him. Don't forget, Tinker has Aegis. Buyback does immediately fall from Visage and Clockwork. Tinker is officially dead, but doesn't matter. He'll come back alive here very soon. Ancient Bruce ulti is used on top of everybody, so no more regen for you. Tinker turned, Clockwork turned into a piggy once again. Anti-Mage trying to get a kill on top of something. Not going to be able to find nobody. Blinks forward, finds the Tinker, finds a Clockwork, finds a Tinker, hits a, finds the Tinker, finds a Clockwork. Gets the first hit bash on top of Clockwork, and now he's going to continue to do what he can to keep being as obnoxious as possible. But I think this is a one fight for ZK. They do get the mid tower. That's all they really needed. I don't know if they need to push any harder, but they are going to continue to push as hard as they possibly can. And Champer's in a little bit of trouble, getting slowed up, getting hit with a bunch of damage. The fight is going to be continuing. The creeps are pushing in, and this creep got hit with the frost, or chilling touch. And I think this is all but it. Oh, Ancient Emperor's ulti does fly through. The fight happened long enough for Ancient Emperor's ulti to happen twice. Meanwhile, we got Bane going to be going down. Clockwork Grapple does fly on top of Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage's in a little bit of trouble. Gets hit with the Sheep Stick. Clockwork has cheese available, so 22 might be able to do something. But these guys are going to ignore everything and kill everybody they possibly can. And, oh man, Winter about to be going down here very soon. She actually survives long enough. The creep going to be punching her a few times. Doesn't really matter. The birds... Not the birds. Doesn't really matter. The magic damage coming off from the sides a little bit too much. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage is trying to get a kill on top of Clockwork instead of focusing on this Ancient, and the Ancient will officially be going down. A very explosive game. ZK said, bro, we may be down, but we're not out. Just showing us why Anti-Mage is still considered a really great carry. Meanwhile, Morphling trying to go to do what he can to stop Anti-Mage from killing. Will this game be officially over is a big question. The answer is yes, it will officially be over. That is the end of all this madness. That's the end of all the craziness. And that is the end of this game, guys. Very exciting game, very well played by both sides. Basil not able to close the door on ZK yet. ZK say, bro, you may have us down, but we are definitely not out. The score is officially 1-1. We're going to our third game in this best of 3 series, guys. I'm freaking excited after that game. And I also need to go get some water because my mouth is dry. But that's a side note. That's occupational hazard. I can deal with that. So anyway, my name is CulBlu. I just brought you guys this game, and this is a very exciting game. And this Friday Night Live Dota 2 Cup, or Friday Night Live Dota. I think that's the official title of it. Now, if you guys want to look for me, you guys can find me on youtube.com/user/CulBluDota. You can also follow me on Twitter, which is @CulBluDota. Oh, you spell that CULBLU Dota, and that's how you spell all my stuff. And it's also, wasn't it? There's another one. Oh yeah, Casters Network. There's also Casters Network, which is a group created to help casters come together, collect, collaborate, and create with one another, and it's really cool. You can meet some new casters there. You can find out new talent if you're just an avid fan of esports, or if you're somebody who's involved in esports, looking for some casters to cast an event for you. Call up CastNet. We might be able to find somebody for you. That's kind of how these guys have their casters. That's why we're casting for them, because we're a part of CastNet. I'm a part of CastNet, and I'm going to end my words there. So, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you guys whenever.